I was impressed by the ecological alternatives and money and energy saving benefits with everything in the house. Finally, it came to serving all the treats and food that we brought and gifts were opened, and many of the women awed and ummed when my sinful chocolate cake with hazelnut cream was placed on the dining room table near the living room, and as gifts were being shown, some of the women complimented on the new bread maker machine and said how they wanted to buy one. I knew that Kira liked to bake things and bring them to church sales and fundraising events. When my friend who brought me mentioned that I brought the bread maker, Kira snapped with a laugh. Only a man would bring such a sexist gift. Not all women are destined to stay in the kitchen. I didn't hear any thank yous, and Kira's husband spoke up and said how he loved all the varieties of bread that his own mom used to make and how she'd add nuts, raisins or berries and even add coffee or tea to make wonderful flavors of bread. I simply ignored the insult and tried hard to not say anything since I was in her house and I didn't feel it was my place to defend myself or argue. As a gentleman, I let all the ladies be served first, whether it was cake or salad or chicken wings. When I was finally served, I was really impressed with some black and spicy chicken on skewers which I thought were really delicious, and when I asked who made these and what was put into the recipe, the hostess snapped so rudely, "If you don't like it you can leave, we didn't make this food just to feed you." I nearly choked and I tried to speak up about how much I liked the chicken skewers, wanting to get the recipe so that I can make them at home. She interrupted me before I had the chance to respond, snapping, "Be quiet or leave." I was speechless and I started to fight back tears. Kira's husband quietly walked over and started to rub my shoulders and told me I loved the chocolate cake that you brought over. I then grabbed the bread maker still in the box unopened and I headed for the front door where my jacket was in the front closet. Kira yelled at me saying, "Put that back, it's not yours to take." I then turned around and yelled back, "Yes it is, I bought it and there's no way in hell I'm spending $250 in taxes on an appliance for someone who has been so rude to me," and I grabbed my jacket with my friend following me as she apologized and tried to calm me down as we headed for the door with Kira following me. As walked out and down the pathway to the sidewalk, the hostess yelled, "Don't you ever come back here again, you're not welcome in my home." I just turned and yelled back, "Fuck you and your home. I don't know how you managed to get such a nice man to marry a vile jerk like you, but I hope he gets to keep this house when he finally divorces you," and then I left with my friend who was on the verge of tears. I stopped attending the church we shared on Sunday but did keep in touch with my friend. I didn't know angry words were a prophecy of what was to come. Kira's husband divorced the jerk after 1 year of marriage on grounds that she was abusive and at times nearly violent, and she also had an affair with one of his co-workers who had been to his home on many occasions. The husband kept the house he designed and he wasn't required to pay any alimony to his ex-wife either. I hadn't kept in touch with him but saw the architect years later in a shopping mall with a beautiful pregnant wife and his 2 kids, and he was happy to see me again. I later learned from my friend that the ex-wife was divorced a second time and she had been charged and tossed in jail for a few months for domestic violence and felony abuse. She now works as a waitress in some hotel and has lost the right to see her only daughter. So, I guess it pays to be nice, and mean people lose a lot more in the end.